Hello everybody, today I am going to show you how you stuff a big juicy succulent bird. But before you even decide to prepare a bird, you need to choose one. Now in my experience, it's best to choose one with a nice pink, firm but subtle skin. Firm, large breasts and succulent, supple thighs. Now, before we stuff the bird, we need to position it properly. And to do this, it has to be flat on its back, with its breasts upright, thighs apart, and you have to be in full view of the orifice. Now, to check before you stuff it, the orifice has to be clean. So we check for cleanliness by lifting it a little and looking inside. Sometimes you have to part it, of course, to have a good view. Now, my husband is quite experienced at stuffing big juicy birds, but today I decided I would make it my job. Now, my husband's preference to stuffing is to season it a little, and he likes to cover the breasts with fruit and the thighs with fruit also, to sweeten it and tenderise it before we actually place the stuffing into the orifice. Now, my husband prefers quince. Nice and firm, and we cut it. We section it. He likes things firm and a little on the tangy side. But before we do anything else, we would have to lubricate it. Lubrication is very important.
Is it cooking really?
It keeps the juices nice and moist, and it helps to keep the skin crispy also. So my preference for lubrication is a little bit of salted butter. Not a lot, but just enough for a fine spread over the bird. One must be careful at this point because we don't want any bacteria getting back into the buttered dish. We rub it gently round and round the breast. First one breast, round and round, and then we take a little bit of butter and round the other breast, rubbing it, so we get an even lubrication all around. 2 fingers and a thumb usually does the trick. 2 fingers and a thumb, that's all you need for a nice juicy succulent breast. And the thighs.
I'm asking you again, is it about cooking really?
The thighs, nice and succulent. Look at this, everybody. Doesn't it make your mouth water already? Pink skin, firm breast and lovely succulent thighs, so voluptuous. Yummy. And then we have to just turn it over a little, so we lift it up by its leg. You can lift it up very gently, just enough to rub its back side a little. You always need to lubricate the back sides just enough, There we go, and around the orifice as well. Always around the orifice needs a little lubrication. These are tips I've picked up from my husband, by the way, as he's experienced at stuffing these juicy birds. There we go. Now,
I've done lots of birds.
he claims to have done a lot of birds in his time. Oh, I'm so proud of him. Now, here comes the second part. The second part is the seasoning. Now, I prefer more conventional methods. A nice juicy Jaffa. Juicy Jaffas can be squeezed all over the bird. Very nice. Juicy Jaffa. You have to stick your nails and your fingers in when you squeeze the Jaffa, ladies. Just give it a little friction, that's all it needs. Get the juices out of the Jaffa. There we go.
Sensation is really great.
Now, I'm just going to clean my hands up a little as I've still the juice from the Jaffa on them. It smells delicious. Now I'm going to give it a little sprinkle with some seasoning. Here we go. A little bit of aromatic seasoning just to give it a tang. My husband says he prefers a bird with a little bit of tang to them.
Oh yeah, that's lovely.
A little season. He likes a bird well seasoned. He does.
Yeah.
So I let him have his way.
Clean.
Now for the quince. I've prepared the stuffing that I'm going to use in the orifice, and as you can see it's very, very firm. I like it firm because the juices of the bird always seems to sink into a nice firm stuffing. I'm going to cut the quince into the stuffing, finely chopped. Give it a little bit more sweetness and acidity. Here we go. Now, I think this is where hands come into it.
That's my problem.
When you stuff the bird and you place the stuffing inside the orifice, you need to use your hands, ladies. Always use your hands at the point of stuffing into the orifice. And I'm making a nice round ball. Just press it a little. And in we go. The lubrication comes into production at this point, as you can see. Very nice, and it's definitely filled the orifice. I try and cram as much stuffing into my orifice as I possibly can. I don't like anything going to waste, I don't. I prefer something that will just slip out over the side.
Yeah, dripping almost.
During the baking period. Now, we've stuffed the orifice. Now, the next thing we do, and I'll just wipe my hands again, one can't be too hygienic, is to position the Jaffa over the breasts and the rest of the quince.
As you see, it lasts more than 3 seconds.
Very quickly. And the rest of the quince. Not forgetting the backside of the bird. You always need a little bit of fruit under the back side of the bird.
Yeah, to cushion it, huh? And lift the...
It helps to give it an even succulence. And here we have it, a well stuffed, juicy, succulent bird. It's best to keep it well covered, of course, for protection.
Only for my eyes, huh?
And let it simmer away until the bird and the stuffing goes nice and soft and even. Don't leave it until it gets too crisp. We don't want it overdone. But just enough to crunch on. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to leave it simmer for a little, for maybe an hour and a half, and then once it's out, we will leave it to rest for a little while. Thank you and good day. Once the bird has rested, we'll just remove the covering and the protection. And there we are. Hot, juicy and succulent. Thank you very much for watching this video, ladies and gentlemen, and a Merry Christmas to you all.
Merry Christmas. Our Christmas lunch. Piping hot. Most of it is from our allotment, our own produce. Thanks God for these blessings. This is a winter rose. I bought the plant from 99p shop, and every winter it gives me roses. In summer it gives plenty, but in winter it also gives me flowers. That is amazing. Merry Christmas, darling.